You know those people who just seem solid? The ones who can walk through life's biggest storms, a career hitting a wall, a personal crisis, you name it, and while they might bend a little, they just never seem to break. It's not about being tough or ignoring pain. It's something way deeper. Today, we're diving into the brilliant work of psychologist Carl Jung to figure out the secrets to building that kind of real, unshakable resilience. So let's start the journey inward.
But before we get into Jung's ideas, just take a second for yourself. When things get really, truly tough, what's your anchor? What is it that keeps you standing? Is it your family, your faith, your goals? Just keep that in your head, because we're about to explore how to build an anchor inside yourself that's so deep it can hold you steady no matter what the world throws at you.
So this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the fragile stance. This is when any external thing, a mean comment, a project that flops, can knock you completely off balance. You're basically living in a state of constant reaction. But on the other side, that's our goal, the unshakable stance. This isn't about being cold or unfeeling. It's about having your own inner center of gravity. It's about shifting from just reacting emotionally to responding with real awareness. And look at that last line, because it's the key to everything. Integrating all parts of yourself, even the messy ones. And that's the journey we're starting right now.
Okay, so where do we even begin a journey like this? For Jung, the entire foundation of resilience is built on this one core idea. He called it individuation. And look, this isn't some quick fix or a 5-step life hack. It's the lifelong and, often challenging process of forging your true, authentic self. Let's unpack this for a second, because it's so important. Individuation is all about bringing the different pieces of you together. Your conscious mind, the part you think of as me, your ego, your daily thoughts, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath is the unconscious, this huge, deep ocean. The whole point of individuation is to build a bridge between the two, to stop being just the captain on the deck and to become the whole ship, aware of everything happening below the surface. That's how you become truly whole. And this right here, this is the payoff. When you do this work of integration, you develop what Jung called the self, with a capital S. The self is your real psychological core. It is the anchor. Picture a ship in a crazy storm. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling. That's just the chaos of life, right? A ship with no anchor gets tossed around, completely helpless. But a ship with a deep, heavy anchor, it stays put. The storm still rages, but the ship holds its ground. The self is that anchor. It gives you an internal stability that the chaos outside just can't touch.
Okay, so if individuation is the journey, then this next part, this is the most dangerous and the most necessary quest you have to take. Jung believed that to become whole, you can't just focus on your good side. You have to turn around and face the dragon. You have to go into your own darkest corners and confront what he called the shadow.
And be honest with yourself for a moment. What is it? Is it that flash of envy you get sometimes? That sharp, critical thought about someone? A deep insecurity you hope no one ever sees? Maybe it's a mistake from your past that you're still ashamed of. We all have these parts. We shove them down and we hope nobody, including ourselves, ever finds them. That hidden place is exactly what we're talking about. Now, here's the crucial thing to get. The shadow isn't necessarily evil. It's just unacknowledged. It's everything you've decided is not me. It could be your anger, your fear, your ambition, even your vulnerability. Anything that didn't quite fit the image you wanted to show the world gets pushed down into this psychic basement.
And here's the big problem. When you spend your life pretending that basement doesn't exist, it becomes a huge source of weakness. It's like trying to hold a big beach ball underwater. It takes constant energy just to keep it down, and sooner or later, especially when you're stressed, your grip slips, and that's when the shadow bursts out. In a sudden fit of rage, a moment of paralyzing fear, a wave of guilt, and it completely throws you off balance.
And this is the incredible paradox at the very heart of Jung's work. If you find the courage to stop pushing the shadow down and instead turn around, look at it, acknowledge it, and integrate its energy, it becomes your greatest source of strength. You stop wasting all that energy holding the beach ball underwater. That energy is suddenly freed up, and it's yours to use to face life's real challenges. And the benefits here are absolutely life-changing. First, like we said, you get all that energy back. Your ability to handle actual hardship just skyrockets. This is what leads to psychological wholeness. And check out that last point. It ends projection. Projection is when you see your own hidden flaws in other people.
Integrating your shadow means you stop blaming the world for your own stuff, which brings an incredible amount of peace and stability.
So at this point, you might be thinking, man, this sounds really, really hard. And you're right, it is. Facing your own inner darkness is no joke. So what's the fuel that makes a journey this tough even possible? According to Jung, it's one of the most powerful forces there is: meaning.
This quote just nails it. Hardship is going to happen. Pain is part of the deal of being alive. But suffering is different. The thing that separates a hardship that breaks you from a hardship that makes you stronger is whether or not you can find a meaning in it.
This is such a critical idea to grasp. We think resilient people are just lucky that they don't have problems. That's not it at all. Real resilience isn't about having an easy, problem-free life. It's about developing the ability to find a purpose inside the struggle. It's about seeing a challenge not as a punishment, but as a necessary part of your own growth.
So how do we actually do that? Practically, it's a two-step process in your mind. First, you have to accept it. Accept that the difficulty is here and it's part of your path, not some roadblock to get around. Second, you actively build its meaning. You have to ask yourself, what can this teach me? How can this challenge help me grow? How can I use this to become who I want to be? When you frame the struggle as a tool for a bigger purpose, you completely transform it.
So, after you've started the journey of individuation, faced your shadow, and learned to fuel it all with meaning, what happens? What's the result? Well, the ultimate prize is that you develop a reliable inner guidance system, a kind of inner compass that works, even when the map of the outside world is all torn up.
Jung had a fancy name for this inner compass, the transcendent function. I know, it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Just think of it like a translator. It's the bridge that lets your logical, everyday mind understand the messages from your deep, symbolic unconscious. This conversation happens when you pay attention to your dreams, when you listen to your gut feelings, when you let yourself imagine. The transcendent function is basically how your deepest wisdom learns to speak your language.
And the result of listening to this inner compass is this deep, profound sense of inner certainty. It's not arrogance, it's not being loud or thinking you know everything. It's a quiet, solid trust in yourself and your own path. When you have this connection, all the noise from the outside world, other people's opinions, society's expectations, the chaos of the day, it all starts to lose its power over you. You have a source of guidance that doesn't need anyone else's approval. And that inner certainty is the ultimate shield.
So if you take just one thing away today, let it be this. The goal isn't to become some perfect, flawless person who never gets hurt or makes a mistake. That's impossible, and frankly, it's not even the point. The point of this whole journey is to become a whole person, someone who knows their light and their darkness, their strengths and their weaknesses, and brings them all together into one resilient self. That is the real source of being unshakable.
And that brings us to the last question, which is really more of an invitation for you. Jung always said that the gold is found in the darkest places. Your greatest strength, your creativity, your aliveness, so much of it is locked away in the parts of yourself that you've been taught to be afraid of. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What hidden treasures, what untapped strengths are just waiting for you right now in your own shadow?